It's 4 p.m. and we're bringing you the developing news and the stories behind the headlines. This is Storycon. I'm Patrick Paez, and here are some of the stories we're watching this Thursday, May 30. The alleged gunman in the road rage incident in Makati undergoes inquest proceedings today. On Tuesday afternoon, the suspect shot dead a family driver who was traveling with a woman and a child along the EDSA Ayala Tunnel. The suspect and victim supposedly had a brief altercation on the road before the shooting. The North Luzon Expressway, or NLEX, is implementing a toll hike starting June 4. The toll rates from Balintawak to Marilao, Bulacan will increase by up to 17 pesos. The toll for those traversing NLEX end-to-end will increase by at least 27 pesos. And the new PCSO chairman, Felix Reyes, vows to clear all cases and allegations against the lottery. The Senate earlier probed PCSO over questionable lottery winnings. Reyes was a former president of the Philippine Judges Association and served as acting or presiding judge of several RTC branches. And joining us today are Ana Marie Pamintuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star, and Ronald Llamas, our resident political pundit.
Happy Thursday,
Hi.
Ami.
Good afternoon, Ronald, Patrick.
Ami, you can tell from our headlines, medyo slow political news day. I
Yes.
wonder if it's the same for the Philippine Star.
Oo nga, slow day talaga. Hanggang ngayon, hintay pa namin any big news coming from Singapore. So far, yung sinabi lang ni Gibotio Doro na yung a-attendan nga doon na international gathering ni President Marcos, the Philippines will try to de-escalate tension. So ayan, meron ding report from China, yun namang yung spokesperson ng Foreign Ministry, sabi niya wala naman daw dapat ikatakot. Eto, kung hindi naman daw illegal ang gagawin, hindi naman daw huhulihin ng mga nila. This is about the fishing ban, ha?
So
Saka
we're...
yung mga trespassers.
Yeah,
Kung
so-
hindi naman illegal, pero siguro we have to define what illegal means exactly.
So Ronald, I think we're hearing a lot of cooler heads on this matter in the West Philippine Sea now.
Well, yung fishing ban, ginagawa nila yan yearly . At yan ay nagsimula,
Yes.
May 1 pa . May 1 pa. Ngayon lang naging prominent because of the civilian convoy sa Baho de Masinloc. Pero
Kasalanan nyo.
yeah, pero the ban started before the civilian
May
convoy.
Matagal na
May 1.
naguhulihan. Right?
Yeah,
Oo.
huli, hindi huli, no?
Huli, pinapakawalan.
Dahil yung panahon na yan, umaatras din yung karamihan sa mga Chinese vessels dahil typhoon season tag-ulan.
Right.
No? Kaya ang argument ay para ma-replenish daw yung dagat, yung hindi masyado maubos ang mga isda, no, etc. Pero usually, ang ban, ini-impose yan sa atin lang . No? Sa kanila, yung malalaking fishing trawlers, pinapayagan. So medyo onerous para sa atin yung ban na yan. No? At yung mga fishermen naman natin, at their own risk, ay patuloy na ginagawa yan dahil they've been living with that situation for years . Kaya hindi sa kanila bago.
Okay, but this statement coming from Defense Secretary Gibo Chidoro about de-escalating the tension, I mean, Ami, do you think that he's saying that because he's speaking to an audience in Singapore for the Shangri-La dialogue, which is very, very much, we know the position of ASEAN, or that part of
Yes.
the region, medyo they don't like this tension that's building up in the West Philippine Sea.
Siguro.
So
Siguro,
tailor-made
that's
for
most
Shangri-La.
likely. Most likely ngayon, naka-target sa specific audience yun. So nga, remember, among the cabinet members, medyo nagre-reklamo yung Chinese, actually, kay Gibo Masyado daw yung mga, dito sa Pilipinas,
Right.
yung mga statements niya medyo maging masyadong anti-China.
Huwag natin kalimutan,
Kaya
si
medyo,
Gibo. Si Gibo yung nagsabi nung salitang creeping invasion last year.
Yes.
So very sharp yung kanyang kwan. Pero tama si Patrick, Ami, na usually yung Shangri-La Forum, marami diyang pro-China. Hindi lang pro-China.
Yes.
Diniretso mo na talaga. No?
Hindi lang pro-China.
The sentiment is there.
Hindi lang
Allies.
pro-China, kundi Chinese nationals. Halimbawa, dito sa
Yes.
forum na ito, I'm almost sure, 2 boost ng pro-China ang bahagi ng audience. No? Nadadalo dyan.
Yes.
Hindi pro-China pala. Chinese citizens ang dadalo. Dahil marami yan sa Singapore mga negosyante, etc. Sa ganyang Shangri-La Forum, talagang pinupuno nila yan hanggat kakayanin nila. Hindi ko lang alam kung
Yes.
papayagan niyang magtanong dahil siyempre ayaw din nila mapahiya ang isang visiting head of state. Pero a significant part ng audience are not only pro-China, kundi Chinese citizens.
Okay, Ronald,
Pero
I hate to
Ronald, kung
cut this
gano'n ang
discussion.
messaging ng Pilipinas, baka naman pwede nga magkaroon ng de-escalation through the dialogue. After all, it's a dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ami, Ronald, tuloy natin itong magandang discussion ito on developments in Shangri-La and the Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore. On the meantime, we have Senator Coco Pimentel on the line to give us some updates on the divorce bill in the Senate.
Yes.
How it's going to, well, whether it's going to weather the Senate or what. No? Senator Coco?
Magandang hapon po.
Okay, Senator Coco,
hapon, Senator.
first question, Senator. We were kind of surprised that this divorce bill breezed through the House of Representatives. Do you share that sentiment, Senator?
Excuse me.
We would have expected longer debates given the close fight in the vote results. Tama po yun. Pero anyway, talo na. Talo na yung no. Nanalo na yung in favor. So the battleground will now be the Senate.
Kamusta Senator sa Senate? Lalo na after magsalita ni new Senate President Chis Escudero na siya personally ay ayaw niya ng divorce bill.
Conscience vote ito. So it doesn't matter kung Senate President na nagsasabi, I do not think automatic yung mga sumuporta sa kanya ay susunod sa kanya. This is too personal an issue. So kanya-kanyang boto po ito.
Okay, Senator, on our screen right now, we're seeing a scorecard of people or senators in favor and against the divorce bill. On quick glance, mukhang mas nakakalamang yung mga anti.
Well, yung survey ni Senator Jinggoy, almost half of the Senate, 50-50 halos eh. So if that should be the representative positioning, so we also see a close fight in the Senate.
Okay, we're seeing your name. I'm seeing your name on the anti-column. Is this your sentiment? Is this a correct sentiment, Senator Pimentel?
I based my reply to the survey not by Jinggoy, survey by someone else, based on what I have read in the news reports. So it's not really yet a word by word study of the House bill.
Okay.
But
Senator.
I find the grounds too liberal.
Too liberal. Okay.
Senator, merong proposal naman yung mga pro-divorce sa House. Si Congresswoman Janet Garin, sabi niya, kung hindi daw papasa yung divorce, gawin na lang libre ang annulment.
Ayun.
What do you think of that proposal?
Pag sabi kasi gawing libre ang annulment, docket fees kasi yan sa korte. That's already in the judiciary na po yan. We can make an appeal, but we cannot force the Supreme Court to revise or amend the rules of court, especially the schedule of docket fees.
Okay,
Pero mas madali siyang gawin, di ba, Senator? If it's by way of reforms to make it easier to dissolve marriages, mas madali actually ang route na yan.
Yes, pwede. Pero pwede natin pag-aralan eh. Ang naisip ko, meron na tayong annulment which dissolves marriage. Meron tayong separation which does not dissolve the marriage. The married couple to live away from each other. So, hanapan natin ng isa pang remedyo which dissolves the marriage bonds and also allows the couple to live away from each other. Parang in between legal separation and annulment.
Bakit hindi na lang simpleng divorce, Senator?
Oo nga eh.
Para mas simple at affordable at mas protektado ang mga kababaihan. Because a divorce bill,
Yes.
na tayo lamang ang walang divorce sa buong mundo na bansa, is basically for women. It's basically human rights
Yes.
issue. Hindi lang siya simpleng issue ng relihiyon. No, it's an issue of human rights.
Meron kasi doon sa nabasa ko na irreconcilable differences at saka gravely abusive conduct.
So,
Dahil dyan, masyadong vague ang grounds na yan.
Okay.
pero
So-
those details are details, no? In principle, anong tingin nyo sa divorce as a human rights issue, especially for women, na hindi masyadong protektado, even itong mga legal separation at annulment. Dahil, halimbawa, annulment, napaka-expensive niya at napakahaba ng proseso.
Tandaan natin na kung meron tayong divorce, it will still be a court proceeding. So kung ang problema mo yung gastos, ganun din yun. Unless the Supreme Court cooperates by revising the schedule of docket fees. Diba? So ayusin natin yan. At saka, pag masyadong madali ang grounds, irreconcilable differences, gravely abusive conduct, pwede rin magamit against women yan, ha? Pwede rin kawawa ang mga babae, ha? Dahil lalaki naman ang gusto mag-divorce. Napakadali.
Yes, pero pag nakipag-divorce yung lalaki, may karapatan na may iwan sa babae. Merong alimony, may mga hatian, etc. No? So, kung ang lalaki ang gagawa niyan, at his own expense, at his own risk. So, kahit lalaki ang magsimula, protected ang babae. Yun naman ang bottom line sa divorce, eh. Protection sa mga kababaihan. Because men can have their cake and eat it too.
Sino ba ito kausap ko? Si Ronald?
Of course. Senator.
Okay, Ronald. Iba na mundo ngayon, pantay na.
Ayun.
Pantay na ngayon. Kung mas malaking income ng babae at siya ang nagbigay ng ground na divorce, siya magbigay ng support. Ganon din yun. Kaya
Pero
pag-isipan natin na
Senator,
mabuti
alam
ito,
niyo naman yung sitwasyon sa Pilipinas. Mas maraming babaeng binubugbog dito, inaape, at yung lalaki ng bababae, 5 asawa, at hindi naman sinusuportahan yung misis sa yung mga anak. Actually talaga, kahit meron tayong domestic violence law, sobra pa rin yung domestic violence and the women are mostly the victims. Bihirang-bihira, na may protection din ng mga lalaki, pero bihirang-bihira yung mga kaso na gano'n. Hanggang ngayon talaga, the reality in our country is talagang mga babae pa rin ang binubugbog. At saka kapag yung babae, yung lalaki kapag naghanap ng girlfriend, baliwalain sa society natin. I mean the lalaki. Pero kung yung babae, sabihin ako, landi naman itong babaeng to, nanlalalaki. Kaya ang gusto ng mga babae, they will have a chance to legally find, kung sakasakali mang ganyan yung sitwasyon, it's a toxic situation. Gusto nila, meron din silang chance to start a new life. What do you think of that argument? I'm repeating the arguments of the women's groups who are supporting this bill.
let us Filipinize the concept of divorce. Huwag yung hiram tayo sa Amerika kasi parang lumalabas na pati no fault divorce pwede na kasi ipapadaan nila dun sa irreconcilable differences. Di mga gravely abusive conduct. So ayusin natin yung words natin. Let us look at the Philippine experience. Ano ba yung gusto nating i-address? And then let's capture those instances in very particular and specific words. Gawin nating tight ang wording, hindi loose ang wording. Okay? Kasi pag magiging loose ang wording, maniwala ka, Pilipinas din ito. Maabuso po yung batas na yan.
Okay, Senator.
Senator, sang-ayon kayo sa divorce na Philippine version?
Ayusin natin. Ang problema ko lang talaga, pagka-divorce kasi, kawawa rin yung mga gusto sa divorce kasi dala-dala nito yung American connotation ng divorce. na napakadaling kunin. Kaya nga mayroon nagsabi, magkakaroon na ng drive-thru divorce. Kaya nga, kung pwedeng iwasan na natin yung word na divorce kasi masyadong loaded na yan, masyado tayong familiar sa American concept. So, let's Filipinize our remedy to specific Filipino situations.
Pero Senator, buong mundo...
Okay ako hanapan ng remedy.
Yeah. Pero Senator, buong mundo ginagamit yung divorce eh. Even Catholic countries like Spain, Italy, kung nasaan nandun yung Vatican. At wala naman silang problema. Ang mahalaga naman kasi yung substance eh. Yung essence ng human rights para sa kababaihan.
Kasi baka tinanggap nila yung no-fault divorce. Kung ganyan na, imposible mo na kami makonvince. Kung kasama ang no-fault divorce, no way. No way. Kasi kailangan mabigat naman yung dahilan.
Okay. You mentioned a while ago, Senator.
Pwede ba mag-iba ng topic ng konti?
Sige. Okay.
Kukumustahin ko lang, Senator, yung minority kasi nagkaroon kayo ng solid 7 ngayon and coming on the heels of the reorganization, kumusta ba yung minority? Matutuloy ba yung mag-expand ba yung minority?
Sa ngayon, dalawa pa lang kami. Kami ni Senator Risa. Tapos, of course, kung merong gustong makiusap, open naman tayo. Wala namang tao na merong monopoly sa salitang or bansag na minority.
Wala naman nag-approach sa inyo, Senator. Among we know who the solid 7 are. Wala pa bang nagsisend ng feelers? Kasi I know na sinabi nyo na they are welcome kung gusto, pero meron na ba nag-approach sa inyo or Senator Risa?
Pagkakala ko, mag-vaccine muna yung solid 7 eh. Papahinga daw muna sila. So, yung mga emosyon, papababa muna nila.
Senator Coco Pimentel, do you see any of them actually joining the minority? Hindi po madali maging membro ng minority. You stand to lose a lot. As it is, they already lost a lot. So I guess, do you see any of them joining your ranks?
Well, ang sasabihin ko na lang na pag-isipan nilang buti because you're right, no? Was that Patrick? Patrick, you're right. Hindi ganun kadali ang maging minority.
You want to elaborate on that, Senator? We have our own idea what makes it difficult to join the minority, no?
Yes.
Pero do you want to elaborate on that? For example, the budgets, of course, we're talking about different budgets here, no? Iba yung may committee chairmanship ka and all that. So, you want to add to that, Senator?
It's more, being in the minority is more of responsibilities than perks or benefits. It's more responsibility. If you want to be minority leader, basahin mo lahat ng panukalang batas.
Right. Does that mean, Senator, that the majority is more about perks and division of spoils kumpara sa minority?
Hindi naman. Pero the point is, yung majority senators, they have their own Viber group. So, we do not know what they are talking about. So,
di ba dati pumirma nga sila sa Maharlika through Viber? Di ba, Senator?
Tapos, ano yun?
Di ba dati pumirma sila sa Maharlika bill through Viber?
Oo nga, mukhang gano'n. They have their own Viber group. Meron din kaming Viber group of all senators. Tapos, I'm sure meron sila sa majority. But so, kung ano man yung pinag-uusapan nila doon, hindi na namin alam ni Risa.
Okay, so
Samantalang kami ni Risa, pag mag-Viber ako kay Risa, yun na yun. Minority Viber group na yun.
Group na yun, dalawa lang kayo, Senator.
For clarity lang,
Group
kung
na yun.
minority ka ba, kasi medyo nalilito ngayon mga Senator, pag minority ka ba, does it necessarily mean you are anti-administration? Opposition ba kayo? Yun ang tinatanong ngayon, kung minority ka sa Senate, are you necessarily opposition?
Actually, if you're minority in the Senate, your job is to check the majority in the Senate. Oo. Mahina kasi ang party system natin, kaya hindi natin ma-imagine na sometimes na yung party in power, minority rin siya sa Senate. Pwede mangyari yun theoretically. Pero alam mo na, we Philippinize everything. Sa Philippine system, halos hindi mangyayari yon. So, pero ngayon, ang purpose ng minority is to check the ideas proposed by the majority. And then most of the time, yung mga administration measure, majority ang nag-propose. Kaya, nasi-check din namin ng administration because of the proposals of the majority.
Okay.
Last
So,
point,
hindi necessarily na you are opposing. You are checking the proposals.
Yes. We are checking kasi democracy to, dapat kahit sangayon ako sa idea mo, dapat ma-testing ko yung idea mo. Dapat merong mag-testing sa idea mo. Kasi pwedeng sangayon lahat eh. Walang nagti-testing, nadi-deprive yung mga kababayan natin ng information, ng knowledge, which is very critical in a democracy.
last point on the divorce, Senator, no? So ang hatian ngayon sa Senate is basically along gender lines. No, dahil almost all the women except one ay nagpo-propose ng divorce bill at sinusuportahan 'yon. 'Di ba? Halos ganun ang hatian ngayon sa Senado, gender.
Well, kasi anim lang yata ang female members namin eh.
Yes.
So, mahirap din but wala pang debate. So, baka ma-point out natin kung anong laman ng bill, paano ba posible ma-improve yan, baka magbago nga ng anyo, baka maka-invento tayo ng ibang remedyo. So, who knows? Tignan natin.
Okay. Thank you, Senate Minority Leader Coco Pimentel.
Salamat
Thank you
din
for
po.
your time.
Salamat din po.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Senator.
Okay, down south naman, religious groups are standing by the fight against divorce. Issue pa rin doon yung divorce. They said they will remember those who voted for and against it, and payback could be on election time. This midterms on 2025. Let's get the details from One News Cebu desk and Freeman editor Dale Israel. Dale, so divorce
Yes,
is
may
heating up
hapon.
there. Huh? Yes, Dale.
Yes, may hapon, Patrick, Ami, and Ronald.
Gandang hapon,
Of course,
Dale. Mukhang maganda ang mga nangyayari dyan sa Cebu ngayon.
Very interesting times here in Cebu.
Yeah.
The religious groups here actually have intensified their campaign against the divorce bill. Just what Patrick said, they will remember the names of the congressmen who voted in favor of the bill. There are no block voting for Catholic Church, but the group said they will be campaigning against the Solons who voted in favor of the bill in the next election. We're talking here about the Archdiocese of Cebu's Commission on the Laity. These are composed of church volunteers, religious organizations, and church workers. And according to the chairperson, Febarino, the fight is not yet over, and they will still campaign against the divorce bill, especially here in Cebu, which they call as the cradle of Christianity. And then they will have this information drive at the parishes and the barangays, and just to show to the Cebuanos that the evils now of what the divorce would bring to the families. And then there's Cebu Archbishop Jose Palma was not in the press conference yesterday because he is out of the country as of the moment. But according to the groups, they have the permission of the Archbishop of Cebu to go ahead with their campaign against divorce.
Okay.
Back to you guys.
Ronald?
On a different note, Dale, no, dahil yan, expected naman sa Cebu yan, very religious yung Cebu, very Catholic. I heard a strange proposal coming from former Cebu Mayor Tommy Osmeña from BOPK, offering to team up with Gwen Garcia against former Cebu Mayor or still Cebu Mayor Rama na suspended, na siya ang magiging vice mayor, no? Si BOPK head Tommy Osmeña. Sumagot na ba si Governor Gwen Garcia dito sa kanyang proposal? Na traditionally magkalaban yan, di ba?
Yes, that's correct. Both Gwen Garcia and former Mayor Tomas Osmeña are arch enemies
Yes.
for the longest time, and actually came as a surprise when former Mayor Osmeña said that he is willing to become the vice mayor of Governor Garcia should the governor decide to run for mayor against Mike Rama. According to Tommy, he said that he will support anyone who will fight against Mayor Rama. But I'm sure Governor Garcia knows about this, but the governor has not made any reaction on this. And what we know is so far is that Governor Garcia will seek re-election as governor of Cebu.
Okay, interesting developments in Cebu.
Dale,
no?
kumusta naman si Mayor Rama ngayon? 6 months siyang suspended and it's only preventive. Pwedeng maging ano yun, mag-extend yan all the way to the elections. What's he doing
Yes.
now?
Mayor Rama is expected to be in Russia. She is supposed to go along with a delegation from Cebu City to Russia for a sisterhood pact with Vladivostok in Russia, but I'm not sure if that will really push through for him because he is suspended. But he said in an interview with reporters here that he will just use his own funds and still go to Russia for the sisterhood pact with Vladivostok in Russia. And also, Mayor Rama is currently issuing statements through Facebook, and he called up and he said that Governor Garcia was lying when she said that when he used his name to be the reason why she left the PDP Laban. Mayor Rama claims that it was the statement of the governor leaving the party was a day after she was asked to explain about a case that Rama filed at the office of the president.
Mabait si Dale, Ami, dahil yung statement ni Rama mas matalas di ba, Dale? Mas personal yung banat niya kay Governor Gwen. Nabasa
Actually,
ko.
there's a lot of name calling. There's a lot of name calling on the statement.
Yes.
I don't know if we can say it on air.
Pero Dale, is Mayor Rama sticking it out with PDP Laban? With PDP? The party of
Yes,
President Duterte?
Yes, Mayor Rama is sticking up with PDP Laban of former President
Pero
Duterte.
Dale, marami doon sa mga councilors niya, iniwan na siya, di ba?
Yes.
Marami sa mga councilors ni Mayor Rama ang inabandon siya at talagang na-split ng husto yung kanyang political party.
Yes, in a way, but they're not really signified that they are already in the opposition against the Rama camp. But by the way we see the moves of Vice Mayor or the acting Mayor Raymond Garcia and the other councilors, they are investigating the funds that have been proposed under the Rama administration. Like, for example, they are now canceling this purchase of around 20 million worth of portalets for the Palarong Pambansa, which is actually a proposal that was approved during the administration of Mayor Rama.
Can we go to the neighboring island naman, Dale?
Yeah.
Bohol.
Bohol.
Have you learned about the Bohol governor has been suspended? The last time we were asking what party affiliation, but Ronald corrected me and said that the right question should be what's the
Relationship.
what's the personality loyalty kumbaga ng Bohol governor.
Yes, Bohol governor was suspended for 6 months, and I think, and he told reporters that he will not be fighting off or he will not be filing an appeal on the suspension order against him, and he said he will just accept it.
Okay.
And now his party affiliation is actually Nationalist People's Coalition or NPC, and the acting governor is also his ally.
The acting governor is okay. Okay. But he is identified more or less with what? With who?
What we saw is usually he is with he's constantly Senator Jaime Marcos is constantly visiting him, and then he also joined this Maisog rally of the Duterte.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So enough
Dale,
said.
So you have
Dale,
your-
kumusta
you have
yung
your answer.
dynamics? Dale,
Okay.
kumusta yung dynamics between the Garcias and Sara Duterte? They used to be, well, I guess they are still very close. Pero paano ngayon yan? Kasi nagdidistansya yung mga sila governor from the Duterte camp. Paano na si VP Sara, yung ties nila?
Yes, I personally asked during the press con with Governor Garcia. I asked her if what will happen to her relationship with the other members of the PDP Laban, specifically the Dutertes,
Yes.
and he said there will be no changes as to the relationship with other members of the PDP Laban, and she also said that she has no plans of joining other national parties as of now, and she will just step back and focus on the One Cebu party. It's actually a COMELEC registered party in Cebu, which is
Okay.
about 95% of the elected officials here.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dale Israel.
Thank you, Dale.
Thank you,
Kaya
Dale.
salamat.
That was Dale Israel, One News Cebu desk and also editor of the Freeman. You're watching Storycon on One News. We just need to take a quick break, but we will be right back. This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group. we've got the developing news and the stories behind the headlines. Welcome back to Storycon, the Story Conference. I'm Patrick Paez with Ami Pamintuan and Ronald Llamas. Okay, still on the divorce bill in the Senate, we have another senator joining us today, Senator J.V. Ejercito on the line. Senator. Senator?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon,
Hi, Senator.
And Ami. Good afternoon, Ami, and Secretary Ronald.
Good afternoon, Senator.
Hi.
Okay, first question. Ako na. Senator, we did a scoreboard of the senators on the divorce bill, and we're counting you dun sa pro-divorce. But it seems like you don't have the numbers to get this thing passed.
Well, we all know for a fact that the divorce divorce bill has been very controversial. And of course, I have to be honest that I am leaning towards approving it, to divorce. But I still have to weigh everything, no? Because as you know, Patrick, I'm a Roman Catholic. I was also raised in a Jesuit institution, and the church is very much against. But I just want to make sure that all the safeguards will be in place to make sure that it will not be that easy, no? Because, you know, although we believe in the sacredness of the sacrament of matrimony, but I have known a lot of people whose marriages were not successful to the extent that one is abused physically and even emotionally, and I believe that nobody deserves to be miserable in life. So that's the reason that I am leaning towards it, because I really just want to give second chances, and everyone deserves to be happy.
Okay.
Senator, dun sa mga for now na anti, meron ba kayo na-identify na mga soft na anti? Yung ibig sabihin, pwede pang makumbinse nung mga pro. At gaano karami yon?
Well, alam niyo, ito naman demokrasya. That's why we have to, although I am really already on pro, but we still have to weigh everything to make sure that all the safeguards are there. No, ilalagay po natin, dapat siguro talagang extreme circumstances lang that one couple will be able to get a divorce, na talaga physically, psychologically, emotionally abuse. So, that's the beauty of democracy. Both sides have to be heard. And yan naman po ang characteristic natin. Talaga lahat binubusisi, no? Para arrive at the right decision.
Senator, you've seen the House bill. When we talked to Senator Coco kanina lang, sabi niya, ang objection lang naman daw niya, masyado daw broad yung mga basis for divorce. Do you share that view, and anong remedyo pwede naman daw remedyohan nyo na i-reward para medyo restrictive ng konti yung mga grounds for divorce? What do you think of that observation?
Well, I agree with Senator Pimentel, ang minority leader. Si Senator Coco has been really helpful kahit sa minority. Nare-refine, na-improve po natin ang mga measures. And I share the sentiment. Sa kailangan naman, hindi maging madali. We do not want a divorce like in the United States, America po, na parang napakadali naman nung maprobahan ng divorce, no? So, dapat lang siguro, I will only agree kapag yung circumstances are really extreme. As I mentioned, yung may abuse already, physical or emotional. No? So, yun po yung mga dapat natin sigurong tingnan with the House version to make sure that necessary safeguards are in place.
So kung magkakaroon ng ganong rewarding, you think more senators will support the divorce bill in the...
Come again, Ami? Sorry, I lang kasi...
Kung magkakaroon ng ganong kung i-rework yung proposal, sa tingin nyo mas maraming senador ang makukumbinse to support the divorce bill?
Halimbawa, Senator, pwede bang baguhin yung irreconcilable differences at gawing reconcilable na?
Basta i-reward lang.
Yan yung mga talagang dapat pag-usapan. Kaya yung, although I am leaning towards divorce, pero wag naman po siguro yung very broad na nagiging madali, no? Hindi naman po siguro madali. As much as possible, being a Catholic, we want to preserve the sacred of the matrimony, no? Kaya lang, kung talagang, sabi ko, I would only agree kung extreme circumstances.
Okay, Senator JV, we just had Senator Coco Pimentel a while ago before you, no? And it seems that wala masyado kayong pinagkakaiba dun sa position, although you're counted as one is pro, the other one is anti-divorce. But both of you agree that, you know, the grounds have to be tighter, okay? I'm just wondering whether the sentiments on divorce has something really to do with the word divorce. Kumbaga, yung word na divorce is enough to trigger everybody, whether for or against it.
Well, tingin ko, that answer to it, no? Kasi pag naprinig mo yung salitang divorce, alam na agad na ito'y controversial. No? Siyempre, it's against the majority of Roman Catholics or Christians. So, kailangan talaga, we have to convince that I will only be convinced if it's really, again, kung talaga extreme circumstances. No? Yun lang yung magiging condition ko po doon.
Okay. Thank you,
Pwede
Senator
ba akong
JV
kumambi ng
Ejercito.
konti? Pwede bang pahabol na isa? Ibang topic.
Nagpaalam na ata si Senator JV Ejercito
nagpaalam
amin
na.
kasi
Sige, okay.
pinagbigyan lang tayo ng
Okay.
for a few minutes because I understand he's preoccupied with something else. But we have,
sige,
I
okay.
think we have our mobile journalist in Singapore
Okay.
on the line next. Others. There is Julie on our window now. In
Yes.
Singapore, hindi po sa Metro Manila yan, sa Singapore yan. Julie Baisa is there in Singapore for the Shangri-La Dialogue. Julie, what can you tell us so far?
Patrick, sa ngayon, private meetings yung pinagkakaabalahan ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos sa second day nga ng working visit niya dito sa Singapore. Sinusubukan pa natin humingi ng impormasyon kung sino, anong sektor at ano yung mga goals nitong mga private meetings ng Pangulo sa ngayon kasi wala pang inilalabas yung palasyo. Close in din kasi yung naging pagdating niya kahapon kaya hindi rin tayo nagkaroon ng pagkakataon na ma-cover. Sa ngayon, ang nandito na yung ilang mga defense officials kabilang si Defense Secretary Gibo Teodoro na nakatakda ring makipagpulong sa iba pang mga defense ministers ng iba pang bansa. Yung ibang mga military officials based on our info, mamayang gabi pa yung lapag dito sa Singapore. Kasama nga silang dadalo ng Pangulo sa International Institute for Strategic Studies bukas. Kahapon nagkaroon tayo ng pagkakataon na umikot at mabisita kung saan gaganapin yung forum. Hindi lang tayo napayagan na maglabas ng mga materials kasi mahigpit yung seguridad doon lalo sa mga heads of state na malalaking defense stakeholders na yung dadalo dito. Bago tumulak pa Singapore kahapon, sa Brunei sinabi ng Pangulo na highly significant yung magiging pagdalo niya sa forum kasi daw maisusulong niya rito yung karapatan ng bansa sa West Philippine Sea. The fact daw na naimbita siya bilang leader ng bansa doon dito nga sa forum na to, malaking bagay na yun kasi kinikilala na raw na may mga hamon na hinaharap nga yung Pilipinas daan sa West Philippine Sea. Aside from that, italatag daw ng Pangulo yung mga paraan moving forward dito sa Indo-Pacific region, lalo't malaki yung papel ng bansa sa international trade. Sabi niya dati daw kapag sinabing West Philippine Sea, Southeast Asia, at saka Indo-Pacific region lang yung pinag-uusapan. Pero ngayon daw, dahil nga malaki yung ginagampanan niya sa international trade, global economy na daw yung involved. In-announce din ngayong hapon ng IASS na aside from PBBM, magsasalita sa forum si U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd James Austin III. Nakaschedule on Saturday, June 1. Sa kaparehong araw, magsasalita rin si Indonesia President-elect Retired General Prabowo Subianto. Based on our info, medyo malayo sa schedule ng Pangulo itong si China Minister of National Defense Admiral Dong Jun sa Sunday. Sa Sunday siya. Pero sa sidelines, magkakaroon siya ng meeting with Secretary Austin. Habang si PBBM naman tomorrow, medyo puno din yung kanyang morning with bilateral meetings with Singapore President, Prime Minister.
Julie,
former Prime Minister.
Julie, alam ba natin kung merong bilateral meeting or any meeting of sorts si President Bongbong Marcos with a Chinese official? We know that you're telling us that he will be meeting with the U.S. Defense Secretary. Is there a similar meeting with any Chinese official?
Based on the President's schedule, wala siyang nakaschedule na meeting with any Chinese official. Pero ang sinasabi nga ng palasyo, sa mga ganyan naman sidelines, pwedeng biglang may mahatak or biglang may mga unscheduled meetings na bigla lang mag-uusap during the forum. So titingnan natin bukas kung ano yung magiging paggalaw kasi ang media naman right outside doon sa mismong plenary kung saan gaganapin yung mismong dialogue. So makikita natin yung movement ng mga leaders.
Julie, what about cabinet members natin with their counterparts sa China? Meron ba kayong alam na bilaterals between Philippine and Chinese officials?
Walang announcement ng mga kung sino ang makakausap ng sino. Ang sinasabi lang nila, si Gibo and si Secretary Manalo, may mga makakausap sa sideline. So, hindi inaanunsyo kung sino ba yung mga makakausap. Pero later, magkakaroon tayo ng, hopefully, ng pagkakataon na makausap si House Speaker Romualdez kasi kanina si Secretary Teodoro medyo nag-decline siya for an interview. So, titingnan natin kung ano yung mga makukuha nating information from House Speaker Romualdez tungkol dito sa mga possible meetings.
Okay. Ronald? Kung wala na, pakawalan na natin si Julie Baisa.
Huling tanong lang.
Okay.
Yung main forum, umaasa ba yung ating Philippine delegation na pwedeng magkaroon ng hostile part yung audience?
Sa ngayon, ang sinasabi ng Philippine delegation and the ambassador natin yesterday nung nakausap natin, wala silang ganong magiging reception na parang, kumbaga, the fact na inimbita siya, so binibigyan nila ng importansya si Pangulong Marcos at yung Pilipinas.
Okay.
Yung meeting with the Filipino community, Julie, may anong latest doon? Meeting ni President Marcos with the Filipino community.
Mukhang walang magiging meeting kasi kung masusunod yung schedule ng Pangulo, pagkatapos ng IISS dialogue at ilang mga meetings possible sa sidelines, uuwi na siya diretso sa Pilipinas. So yung the usual PhilCom meeting at saka yung kapihan with media, hindi na mangyayari kasi meron na rin schedule sa Sabado ang Pangulo dyan sa Pilipinas.
Okay. Maraming salamat, Julie Baisa.
Thank you, Julie.
Maraming salamat, Julie.
Okay, that was Julie Baisa, our mobile journalist covering the Institute for International and Strategic Studies. Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore. Very important, because we have President Marcos there speaking before a mix of defense and security and foreign geopolitical experts. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin will be attending, I understand. We all know naman nasa flashpoint ng Pilipinas. So I guess the President's speech will be very much anticipated in this dialogue.
Tsaka crucial yung Singapore parang nag-aakyan like a fulcrum sa ASEAN, na malapit sa US, malapit sa China,
Right.
Minsan seasonal yung kanino siya mas malapit. Kaya interesting na panoorin yung role, lalo na with the new Prime Minister
Lawrence Wong.
Yeah.
But I understand during one of those forums in Singapore by the outgoing Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, medyo critical siya dun sa nagiging posisyon ng Pilipinas na masyadong nira-ratchet up itong tension in the West Philippine Sea. At least, that's how they see it. Ganun.
Yes. Pero ayun nga, sabi ko nga seasonal may season na anti-China sila, may season na medyo critical sa US. Tingin ko yun talaga yung role ng fulcrum na hindi mo ma-predict kung saan pupunta, depende kung ano yung climate.
Why can't the Philippines take that kind of a position?
Well, we don't have the banks Singapore has na maraming pumapasok na.
That's been said a lot, Ronald. We don't. Our defense capability is not sufficient. You're telling us now na wala tayong pera masyado, our economic status is not that great. But at the same time, we see the rest of the neighbors, our other neighbors like Vietnam. Sabihin na natin, nakakaangat ng konti ngayon sa atin ng Vietnam. But they're able to step aside from what appears to be a superpower contest in this region. So,
Well, nagbabago.
binabalanse nila.
Nagbabago dahil for the first time, nagkaroon lang strategic treaty ang Vietnam with the US. Ngayon lang nangyari yan. Yung sa Malaysia naman, nung si Mahathir ang presidente, ay very anti-China. Nung si Anwar ay biglang nagbago. So,
Yeah, but Anwar is very critical of the Philippines,
Hindi, kaya
Philippines
tayo
policy.
yes, dahil si Anwar
ng-
kasi is
ng
pro-China
China.
ngayon. Dahil marami siyang hinahatak na investments. Nung panahon ni Mahathir, ay yung mga investments ng kanyang predecessor ay nireject niya. Na tingin niya masyadong pro-China. Yung kanyang finance minister nga, si Lim Guan Eng, ay naban sa China. Dahil siya yung parang bad cop.
So
sa
you
cabinet.
could argue na ganun din sa atin in the
Yes,
Philippines.
nagbabago yung...
Nagbabago rin. Duterte was
Like
leaning
Vietnam.
towards China.
Yeah.
Now, this
Yes.
administration is
Yes.
leaning more towards the US.
Yes.
So magbabago
Pero
rin.
mas sensitive sa atin ang China because we are a US treaty ally eh.
Yun.
Yes, may
That's-
mutual
that's-
defense
And-
treaty.
That's what
And,
complicates the matters, right?
Yeah.
At maritime, ang tingin nila, we are being used as by the US. In fact, may mga nagsabi na sa akin yan eh.
At saka-
na Chinese officials. Sabi nila sa akin, what will you say if I tell you, mataas na official to ng China. What will you say if I tell you na we think you are bullying us? That you are being used. No, the Philippines is being used by the US to bully us. Yan yung isang
That's
feeling sa
actually,
Beijing, which I think persists.
Yeah. I mean,
Pero-
it's actually
Yeah.
contained in every statement that the Chinese government issues in relation to the West
ang
Philippines.
isang major na kaibahan natin with the ASEAN countries, nasa atin yung mga artificial islands ng China.
Yes.
Nandito yung mga artificial islands
ang Singapore, wala naman silang maritime dispute
artificial
with
island
China.
ng China eh. Singapore, Malaysia.
Meron siyang reclamation
Yeah.
ng Singapore.
Dito sa atin nandito
Yes.
eh. At nagsimula yung reclamation na yan
Nandito.
before EDCA. No, nagsimula yung reclamation
Yes.
before EDCA.
Long before.
EDCA was a reaction
Long
to
before.
that. No, yun yung kaibahan. So, kailangan balikan natin yung
Saka yung
kasaysayan.
Vietnam,
eh.
they've had a shooting war with China, remember?
Yes,
Nagkaroon na sila ng ganon.
84 Vietnamese Navy ang namatay.
Yes, at umurong ang China, remember?
Yeah. At
Ang
sa,
China ang
at sa
nag-withdraw.
Indonesia, pinapasabog nila yung mga
Yes.
poachers, yung mga fishing vessels ng China.
pinapalubog yung mga
literally pinapasabog, no? Para hindi na bumalik. So, iba
Yes,
yung iba
mas
yung
malakas
mga
yung
bansa.
nila, yung
Iba-iba
response
dynamics.
nila actually.
Yeah. Pero sa atin lang merong artificial islands. Yun yung problema.
Yun ang problema. Okay. Okay, anyway, thanks for joining the Storycon today. Ami Pamintuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star, and our resident political pundit, Ronald Llamas. Thank you.
Happy Thursday!
Happy Thursday!
Join us again tomorrow at 4 p.m. for the Storycon. I'm Patrick Paez. VR1 News, all sides, all the time. This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.